Hi friends, today we are doing our yoga outside because it's such a beautiful summer day. The sun is so bright, the sky is so blue, and spring is in the air. So I have some things with me today that remind me so much of spring. The first is these beautiful flowers that I got for our house because they remind me of the outside spring inside. These Asian lilies are the ones that we put in the cup. Remember when we were using our sense of smell to see if we could guess what was in the cup? And this was the flower that everybody guessed. This is how they look in a bouquet. The second thing I have that reminds me of spring are these little peat seedlings. Mrs. Romportal, Colby's teacher, tipped us off to planting peas this year. So we put some little peas, just they look like real life peas, in here. And here they are, a few weeks later, almost ready to be planted in our garden. So those are a couple things that remind me that spring is on the way. Today, all our yoga poses are going to be spring-like, and we are going to be doing for our activity this book called Dancing in My Bones. Because my daughter Ellie, who is filming today, said this is the book that reminds her of spring. We've read it for a long time together. It's just kind of a happy, silly book. All right, so let's get going, guys. For our breath today, we are going to do a dandelion breath because a dandelion is a flower. Okay, so everybody hold your dandelion up. I imagine I have mine right here. And let's see if we can get all the dandelion fluff off in 5 breaths, okay? My dandelion here, and a big inhale, and blow. I got a little. Let's inhale again, and blow. Mine's done, I gotta get another one. Okay, inhale, blow. Inhale, blow. One last one. My dandelion is free of little seeds. Okay, the next thing we're going to do are some yoga poses. The first one we're going to do is familiar, and this one is river. Remember, we put our feet out ahead of us, legs nice and straight, and reach forward like a string is coming from the top of your head. Lean forward. You can reach to your shins or your feet or your ankles, whatever is comfortable for you. So nice tall reach. Breathe in and out. In and out. Good. Okay, now we are going to do another familiar pose. You know it, you love it. Butterfly. Okay, let's flap our butterfly wings. I'm kind of looking around for butterflies. I don't see any yet, but you never know when they're gonna come. Okay, now I'm looking for my flower. I think I want to land on a flower like this today. So mine is pink. And look, I would get a little drink right out of here. So bend forward, get a little drink. Good. Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. Lean back. Now we're going to do a new pose.
Oh, okay.
All my papers are flying. We're going to do a new pose called flower. And hold on for 1 second. Okay, that's for 5th graders. Okay, we're gonna do a new pose called flower. Can you see it, Ellie? Okay, I'll show you. Put your feet up like this against your belly. And then you put your elbows to the inside of your knees. Lift one arm and tuck it under one calf. And then, careful I don't fall down the stairs. Tuck the other hand under this leg. And I'm making a little flower. Can you guys try that? Very good. Okay. Why don't you try that for just a touch longer while I grab my paper. Hi guys. Okay. Our next pose is going to be tree. Tree is also a very, very familiar pose to most of you. Okay, I'm gonna start with our hands here. Okay, I'm gonna keep my tree foot planted because there are 4 stairs behind me. You see me okay, Ellie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna look at something that's not moving. I'm gonna raise my hands to the sky and open them wide. Now I do feel the wind blowing on my face. I could wave my tree to the side. It's extra challenging. To this side. Back to the other side. Back. And up. And down. Very good. Okay, friends, for our final pose, we are going to scoop up some sun, okay? So arms up high, like in a tall mountain. Take our mountain hands, reach down, scoop up the sun that's rising. Scoop up the sun, bring it to the sky, and let it go. Let's do it one more time. Mountain hands, come down, scoop up the sun, bring it up to the sky, and let it go. Very good, guys. Okay, now what we've all been waiting for, the book, Dancing in My Bones. Family favorite. Okay, can you see it, Ellie?
Okay, got
Should I
it.
move a little closer?
No, we're good.
Okay. Dancing in My Bones. Okay. Now I'm gonna sing, so be nice about the singing, okay? It goes like this. I've got dancing in my bones, in my bones. I've got dancing in my bones, in my bones. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no-stopping, dancing in my bones, in my bones. Okay. Oh, you can sing along if you want. I've got tapping in my feet, in my feet. I've got tapping in my feet, in my feet. You can tap your feet as I sing. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no-stopping, tapping in my feet, in my feet. Okay, now it's bouncing in my knees. Make sure you bounce your knees. I've got bouncing in my knees, in my knees. I've got bouncing in my knees, in my knees. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no-stopping, bouncing in my knees, in my knees. Did you bounce your knees? I hope so, because here's swaying in my hips. I've got swaying in my hips, in my hips. I've got swaying in my hips, in my hips. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no-stopping, swaying in my hips, in my hips. Look, they're having a picnic, it's spring. I've got snapping in my fingers, in my fingers. I've got snapping in my fingers, in my fingers. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no-stopping, snapping in my fingers, in my fingers. Snapping's kind of hard. I hope you can try it out. I've got clapping in my hands, in my hands. I've got clapping in my hands, in my hands. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no-stopping, clapping in my hands, in my hands. I've got shaking in my shoulders, in my shoulders. I've got shaking in my shoulders, in my shoulders. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no-stopping, shaking in my shoulders, in my shoulders. I've got music in my head, in my head. I've got music in my head, in my head. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no-stopping, music in my head, in my head. I've got singing in my mouth, in my mouth. Feel free to sing along. I've got singing in my mouth, in my mouth. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no stopping, singing in my mouth, in my mouth. And I've got dancing in my heart, in my heart. You can dance, dance, dance. I've got dancing in my heart, in my heart. I've got hip-hopping, tip-topping, bebopping, no stopping, dancing in my heart, in my heart. Yes, a whole lot of dancing in my heart. There you go, guys. You can rewind it and do it again. Best book ever. This was actually given to me by a teacher, my sister-in-law, Jill. Okay, thank you so much, you guys. Now to finish up today, we are going to send out a volcano breath to someone that we love. Maybe someone who's taking care of us now, or someone who we haven't seen in a while. Now, because it's the spring episode of Yoga at Home, you can call your volcano breath today a rainbow breath, okay? So we'll have it either be called volcano breath, like we usually call it, or for a special occasion, rainbow breath. Hands up and open. Okay, here we go. Let me think of somebody. I might think of my husband today because he's been at work all weekend. All right, you have your person? All right, here we go. Inhale, imagine your person. And breathe out, send them your wish. Good job, you guys. I loved having you at Spring Yoga today, and I'll see you next week. Bye.